Hello everybody, hello, how are you? And welcome to my channel. And again, just trying to do some random videos just to have a little bit of fun, keep you guys busy and keep me busy. That's what we need to do in this time and place, you know, with what's going on in the world today. So, I'm just going to give a little love to an album that has a lot of special meaning to me. When I was a little kid, and if you go way back 3 years ago, a little over 3 years ago now, when I first joined YouTube, I did a video about Meet the Beatles. I did a tribute to that album because it was one of the first Beatles albums my parents ever gave me as a young boy back in 1964. And I used to bounce on my little toy horse, you know, like this, to the Beatles, and I loved it. But go back to that video way back if you want to see that. Or maybe I'll put a link to it here just to have some laughs so you can see how I used to look like a deer in the headlights when I did these videos, and now, well, I'm just slightly better, you know. So anyway, so my parents gave me this album way back when I was a little kid, and I used to bounce up and down on my little horse and have so much fun. They also got kind of, I think they got ripped off because they got this little knockoff Beatles album for me, thinking it was the real thing, called Beatlemania. So I had these two, but there was a third album they bought for me, and I'm going to show it to you right now. They got me the Mono Hard Day's Night album, okay? Now this isn't my original. I do have my original though. Want to see it? Here is my original. I'm not kidding, folks. I keep this in a very old paper bag. This is my original United Artists mono of A Hard Day's Night. And you might be saying, Matt, why are you handling it so roughly? Because, folks, you would never play this. I don't know if you can get the full scope of this, but look at this thing. Oh my goodness, can you see all the rough and scratches and damage to this old beat up Hard Day's Night? Here's the other side. Look at this thing. You would never play it. The fingerprints, the scratches, the scuffs. Look at it, folks, it's horrible. But this is my original. I kept this all these years, since 1964, in a little paper bag, and I have it. But I did finally upgrade. I said, as I got older, I said, I have to replace that beautiful album my parents gave me when I was a little kid, so I did. Hard Day's Night, 1964, in mono, high fidelity. And I'll show you what a little better version looks like. Okay, a little better version, huh? What you say? A little nicer. All right. So I have that. And I said, well, let me talk to the people about A Hard Day's Night a little bit, because it is one of my favorite Beatles albums. And I must say that when the 80s came along, we were able to get the UK version of A Hard Day's Night the way the Beatles wanted it. Well, I did run out and get my little CD back in 1987 or whenever these came out, 86, 87. This is my CD of that. And I have to say, folks, love this much better than the American release. The American release has a lot of sentimental value to me because it's the one my parents bought for me and means a lot. But I have to tell you, the song selection on here, where you're getting 13 stellar tracks. And let's be honest, folks, with this album here, this could be considered one of the first granddaddy of power pop records ever made right here. That's just a fabulous run of songs there. The Beatles were firing on all pistons, especially John Lennon, and they just knocked it out of the park when they put this together. So I thought I'd show you my original CD. Then, of course, back in 09, we got the remasters. All right, a little better packaging. All right, what do you think of that? And we also got the mono box set came out shortly after that. I always find it funny how the stereo box, it's a little brighter and whiter around the Beatles pictures. When you look at the mono box set one, obviously the packaging's a little bigger and it's a little grayer, a gray kind of hue around the Beatles images there. See that? Anyway, I thought that was interesting. I also have an old beat up cassette I showed you not too long ago in another video. This is an old hard shell United Artists cassette of A Hard Day's Night. Goes way back. I couldn't tell you when this was issued, but you get a kick out of seeing that. And of course, I think it was 2014 that finally the American the American albums, I should say, because this was on United Artists, were released. You get a little sleeve there. And then you get a beautiful CD of that release in stereo. And let's check out inside. If I can get it out of the container here. Show you what the CD looks like. There you go, on the United Artists label. And I also have my old original VHS of the movie. The movie is so great, folks. You know what I'm talking about. It's just fabulous. What a wonderful movie it is. One of the greatest movie musicals ever made, or one of the greatest movies ever made by a musical artist, you have to admit. A few years after this came out, you could get The Making of a Hard Day's Night on VHS, hosted by Phil Collins. Yeah, that's it. So there's a couple of things for you. I know there's been other DVD releases. I think it's out on Blu-ray now and everything. I don't have that yet, but I do have an old DVD version that I got that's very nice. There's the back, shows the different playthings. Inside is very nice. And you get extras. Very nice little set. I don't remember what year this came out. I'm sure many of you have this though. And I know it's been re-released since, but this is the first DVD I got of the movie. So I thought I'd show you some of my vinyl now. Other vinyl. I have this version in stereo. And on a different United Artists label. So you get a kick out of seeing that. Here's another stereo version. Show you the back. This is still on a different label. Okay. Here's a stereo one in the shrink. This one has a printed sleeve. And this is on still another United Artists label. Again, I'm not showing you all of my versions of Hard Day's Night. I have a couple of other monos and stereos and things. I'm just trying to show you some different variations of labels and on the album itself. I show you the British one on vinyl, UK. This is my stereo one. Of course, that's on this Parlophone label. It's a later pressing. Okay. Here's one on the Odeon label, an Electrola product of Germany. Okay. Now it's on this Parlophone label. A little different. Here's one from France. Les Beatles, Four garçons dans les vent. Chansons from the film. Songs from the film. And that's on Odeon, like a blue Odeon. Okay. I also have a behind the scenes interviews for A Hard Day's Night and Help, but I thought you'd like seeing that. I think I showed you a cassette I have of this not too long ago. Movie Mania, Beatles, Movie Mania. Great, great, great little interview album. And here's the label. Nice imprint of the Beatles on it. Here's one of those fan club only issues. It's called The Beatles, A Night's Hard Day, where you get alternate versions of different Beatles songs from Hard Day's Night and other sources. Okay. And the label's called Rubber Soul Label, so whatever that means. Okay, so that's about it, folks. I just wanted to go through a little Hard Day's Night with you and talk about it. Again, When I was a little kid, that album meant so much to me. I wore it out. You saw it. It's scratched. It's beat up. It's been saved for all these 56 years or whatever I've had it. Oh my goodness. Can you imagine that? That thing is almost 60 years old. Unbelievable. So anyway, I just want to share a little love to A Hard Day's Night. I couldn't show everything I have, but just a few minutes with A Hard Day's Night. See what you all think about it. It has a lot of special meaning for me. I love it. I love the film. I love the album. And I just want to see what you thought and just kill some time. Have a little fun while we're all going through the quarantines and all the stay in the house and can't do anything fun. Got to keep the videos coming, right? So thanks again, everyone. Take care. Bless you all, and I appreciate you being here. Please, if you've never been here before, like, subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Thank you. Bye-bye.